Where did that peach come from? That's distinctly peach. Hey there, I'm Nath Martyn, the Whisky Scribe. Taste is subjective, whiskey is diverse, and this channel is all about enjoying it on your own terms. So this week, I've got a package that's been sent to me from Hellyers Road. That didn't go well. All right, so we've got peach. That's a peach, right? I think that's a peach. Oh, goodness. Okay. American Oak single cask 20-year-old. So every now and then a cask comes along that defies expectation, something that captures your attention and makes you think, a unique profile that stops you in your tracks. Cask 4253.04 is just that. I don't know where the .04 comes from. Anyway, aged for 20 years in one American Oak ex-bourbon cask, it's exceptionally balanced at bottle strength. The dance continues long after the last sip. So this was embargoed for February 16, which is why this is only being released now. Don't miss out on this fruit bowl of a single cask coming soon. So what else have we got in here? So this is the whiskey sample I've got here. And a little bit more information that we got on this one. After 2 decades in a single American Oak ex-bourbon barrel, this rare release showcases the finesse and patience of long maturation on the Northwest Coast. Head distiller Fiona Coutts, Fiona, I'm just going to put the name down the bottom here because I don't know how to pronounce this. Affectionately named it the Peaches Cask, hence this, for the vivid stone fruit character that leaps from the glass. The presentation of this whiskey is exceptional. Each bottle is housed in a unique presentation box, handcrafted locally from premium Tasmanian oak by artisan Rob Van Tholen. They've got tasting notes here. I'm not actually going to read those until after I've tasted the whiskey, so I'm covering those up. So it's 20 years old, bottled at 52.8%. Wow. And it's one cask, 179 bottles. It will be retailing at $1,150. And let's be honest, Australian 20-year-old whiskies are few and far between. That's generally the price of a 20-year-old Australian whiskey. In fact, I think that's cheaper than some of the previous ones they've done. I'm not going to fluff around on this one too much. I've done quite a few Hellyers Road whiskey reviews over the last year or so because I love them. So it's got some nice color. It's not exceptionally brown, like I'd probably call this more around a copper. Yeah, probably sort of more of like a copper, a little bit of like a gold sort of color. It is 20 years old, but it's aged in ex-bourbon cask, so you're not expecting loads of deep color like you would from a sherry cask. Initially I was thinking that it didn't have much in the way of legs, but they're quite slow running, so they're only just starting to form now. And 20 years is an exceptional time for Australian whiskey, so you've got to think, it's 2026, so this was distilled probably around about 2006, which means it would have hit the 10-year mark around 2015, 2016. Good math, Nath. Right about the time that Australian whiskey was really taking off. So it probably would have been tempting to barrel everything they had that was at that 10-year mark, but instead they held onto a few casks, which is why we're starting to see some 20 and 21-year-old casks popping out now. Which is beautiful that they had that patience, because a new whiskey industry like Australia, we don't have a lot of really, really old casks, and it's great that we're starting to see those come out now. But on the nose, there's a beautiful balance between the vanilla and the oak that's happening there. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's interesting. I know that you're meant to breathe in through your mouth and your nose at the same time. Sometimes I keep my mouth shut and I hold my nose back from a distance to sort of see what's sort of wafting out there, which is when you get the vanilla and the oak balance sort of thing happening. But if you put your nose in a bit further and you breathe in through your mouth and your nose, you 100% get that peach note. It's really distinct. Often when these tasting notes from the distillery reference a specific fruit, it's sort of like, yeah, it could be that fruit, it could be a couple of other fruits that are similar to it. This is distinctly peach. If you told me that they aged some peaches in a barrel and then popped whiskey in there, I'd actually believe you. Wow. Okay, so now that I picked up that peach note, I'm not even able to find anything else because that surprised me so much. So I'm just going to go in for the taste. Slange. Where did that peach come from? That's distinctly peach. That's remarkable. I've had plum and apricot sort of flavors coming across in whiskey. I've had like all sorts of other stone fruits, but that is so distinctly peach. So a little bit of what else you've got going on in there in the background, there's sort of like a little bit of, I might almost call it brown sugar. There's a little bit of like an oak character in there on the palate, but it's actually really hard to get past that peach. I'm also just remembering now that it's a high ABV whiskey because it's not drinking like that. Like it's not drinking like a low ABV, but I'm be more inclined to put this around about the 48, maybe 50 mark, because there's not that sharpness that sometimes hits you when you got a cask strength whiskey. Yeah, like the defining character of this whiskey is peach, and it's lingering around on the palate for quite a while after. Like it's sort of just starting to dissipate now. So I would call that sort of like a medium to long finish. And it's literally a peach note. It's like this sort of really, really nice, sweet, fragrant peach note coming across. Wow. Peaches. Okay, now I'm curious to see what other flavor notes they say are in there. So they're saying on the nose, delicate florals rise first, yep, followed by a burst of stone fruit such as ripe peaches and nectarines that inspired the cask's name. 100%. Notes of freshly baked baklava and soft orange blossom add warmth and sweetness. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit like a sweet citrusy sort of note going on there that you called orange blossom, and now that it's opened up a little bit, I'm getting a little bit of grain character for that baklava. And then on the palate, sweet peach and nectarine take center stage. Hell yeah. Joined by gentle nuttiness and grilled caramelized pineapple. Oh yeah. Yeah, grilled pineapple, that's fair. Exceptionally balanced at bottle strength. It opens beautifully with a splash of water, revealing buttery Anzac biscuits. Ooh. I love Anzac biscuits. Give me a sec, I'm gonna get some water. There is a little bit more of a graininess coming across now that the water's in there and it's opened up that nose, but yeah, look, it does, there is a little bit of a flavor note in there that you could call Anzac biscuit. I would say it's sort of like Anzac biscuit if you use like a little bit of peach syrup to make it, along with the golden syrup. But that's not a bad thing. It's just, yeah, that peach is really, really center stage. And then they say here, the finish, a lingering dance of stone fruits that continues long after the final sip. Yes, I would say that. Yeah, it's not too often that the defining tasting note that they give you is so prevalent. It's so, like you can't even argue that. That is definitely on the nose, on the palate, and on the finish, peaches. 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 Where on earth does the peach flavor note come from on a single malt whiskey aged in an ex-bourbon cask? That's what I love about whiskey. Like, it's as scientific as you can be about it, as process-driven you can be about it. Every now and again, something just surprises you that comes across almost somewhere between the realm of art and magic. Yeah, I think whiskey is 33% science, 33% art, and 33% luck. Because you couldn't produce that again if you tried. There's no way you could make single malt whiskey, put it in an ex-bourbon barrel, and fingers crossed hope for peaches to be that prevalent. No wonder they did this one as a single barrel. I think that's probably the most surprising Hellyers Road whiskey I've had to date. And I've had some peated 21-year-olds, I've had some American Oak 20-year-olds, all beautiful whiskeys, 22, I think it was a 22-year-old American Oak. Anyway, I've had some wonderful age statements from Hellyers Road Distillery, and when they're doing their age statement, I lost my blue. When they do the age statements on Hellyers Road whiskies, they're really picking a really exceptional cask. They're not putting something out there just because they can get away with saying it's 20 or 22 years of age. It's something unique like this, which is great. Yeah, wow, I'm always keen to see what happens next from Hellyers Road. So thank you very much, the team from Hellyers Road that have sent this one to me. I'm always keen to try any of your new releases. Enjoy what's in your glass and slange. Peaches. Who'd have thought?